So my husband and I did everything that I tell my clients not to do.
And everybody thought I was insane.
Mother's Day, which Mother's Day is every day.
I'm not frustrated at the dishwasher.
Total, we have 12 pregnancies, 1 live birth, and then the losses, and 1 stillbirth.
We aren't taking care of ourselves. We can't be there for those we love most, right?
Yeah, because some people just want to come trauma dump on you.
Welcome back for another episode of Civility Wins, the Family Law Edition. I am your host, Kristen Goss, founder and owner of KWG, Family Legal and Mediation Services. We are your knowledgeable, warm, and gracious attorneys, and we help spouses divorce with civility, creating a legacy for themselves and those they love most. And today is a special day. I have a lot of phenomenal women that are going to be coming on. My guest here, Stacey Laidlaw. We're going to start with her. And in honor of Mother's Day, we're going to talk about some moms today. We're going to talk about some moms. Before we get into the conversation, I wanted to briefly tell you all, because you should know about Stacey Laidlaw. So Stacey is the founder and chief partner of Tech Partner Solutions, where she helps organizations simplify complex technology and turn it into real measurable results. With over 16 years of experience across healthcare, education, and the nonprofit sector, Stacey specializes in software implementation, project leadership, and change management, helping teams reduce inefficiencies and improve operations and successfully navigate digital transformation. She's led multi-million-dollar initiatives for organizations like Feeding America and United Way, bringing a practical, people-first or approach to solving tough operational challenges. And I can attest to this firsthand because Stacey and I have worked very closely together, and she is amazing. I won't say I get intimidated by you, but you are very, very smart. Anytime, like tech-wise, I have no clue, but she's amazing in what she does. And thank you so much for being here, Stacey.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Kristen.
Of course. So in honor of Mother's Day, let's talk a little bit first about your career. I know that you worked in corporate America, and so I would like for you to share your experience as a woman in corporate America and then your transition into what you're doing now.
Sure. Yeah, corporate America was tough, right? It took a lot of confidence and remembering who I was to just be patient moving through the ranks from a lowly implementation manager, moving up to director. I found that I had to share my experience, my knowledge over and over again on multiple team members in the U.S. and overseas. In order to get their respect and gain their participation, I had to prove myself. And I got used to that. So yeah, it was challenging for sure, but I learned so much from the experience and really found allies in men and women along the way to really mentor me. Most importantly, my mom. You know, she was an executive in the healthcare space. And she had some battle scars before me and was able to really guide me through the process. So yeah, I'm grateful for it. But really came to a place of realizing I want to be in charge of my own destiny, live the life that I want to live and still make a good impact and do amazing work in technology for businesses. And so decided to open Tech Partner Solutions and take a chance on myself and really bring in others to give them an opportunity to do great project management and live the life that they want to live.
I love it. I love it. You mentioned your mom, and if you don't mind, I want to kind of remain in that space for a minute. Both of us have lost our moms. Your mom very tragically. And so what is one thing that you can share with someone out there in the audience that doesn't have their mom today? I know you mentioned your mom was a force to be reckoned with.
Mm-hmm.
She was a mentor. Same with my mom, taught me to pick and choose my battles.
Yeah.
Taught me financial intelligence to make sure that I invest and plan for the future. So what is one one tip that you can give someone out there that is struggling right now because of the loss of their mom?
Yeah. Wow. Big lessons that she taught me. I mean, number one is to enjoy your life. You can work really hard, 60, 80 hours a week, but make sure you have time to enjoy the fruits of your labor. That's number one. Number two, don't forget your faith. Don't forget what God has gifted you with, and make sure you use it to the best of your ability because you're accountable for it. I think another big thing is remember who you are. Remember, again, the talents, but, when you're in the process, in the boardroom, when you are negotiating, you shouldn't be less than, right, in those spaces.
I
So,
love it.
yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
Sure, no
Thank
problem.
you. So, on a little personal note, you are a stepmom to beautiful children, and I'm sure there's someone out there that can resonate from that perspective as well, being a step parent, which is not easy, right? It's not for the weak.
No.
Talk to the audience a little bit about that and your experience as a stepmom.
Yeah, it's really amazing because it's like a chosen family. Their dad chose me, and to be a part of this beautiful family. I've really had to focus on love, patience, because it takes time to build that relationship and build that trust. Let go of the fantasy of the fairy tale, what you hope it would be. Stave off the evil step mom persona because I can see how it could come, right? But the work and the relationship are so worth it. And finally, you're a team, right? You're a team with dad, you're a team with the kids, and keeping that perspective in the forefront is so, so important.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. A common theme I hear is patience, resilience, a lot of that, which both of those qualities you have for sure. As we wrap it up with you, if you can share with the audience if they wanted to learn a little bit more about you, they have maybe questions in the tech world, AI is big, automation is huge for business owners. Where could they find you?
Yeah, reach out to us. Tech Partner Solutions global.com is our website. You can reach out there. Email us at info@techpartnersolutions.com. And even on social media, Instagram and LinkedIn, Tech Partner Solutions, we're there. Love to partner with you. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate you coming.
Thank you so much. Yes.
Yes. So stay tuned. We have next Nicole Piedra with Cartide and a few other business names that we will get into in a moment. So we'll talk soon. All right. So Nikki, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, of course. So for all of you out there, you need to know Nicole Piedra, and I'm going to briefly share your bio, but we're going to get into some good topics today in honor of Mother's Day. So Nicole Piedra, she is a mom of two. She's an entrepreneur and payment consultant. Someone who has made it a mission to build a life that makes room for both raising babies and making a real difference for the businesses she serves. Having built and exited a 7-figure business, Nicole knows firsthand what it takes to run a company and exactly where payment friction quietly costs you. That experience is what drives her work today, helping business owners such as myself. We're working together, and they've been great, I must say, in saving some money that is necessary.
Absolutely.
Her newest venture is co-founding She Sips, a women's networking group built for intentional collaboration and powerful masterminds over cocktails, because she believes the most powerful thing a woman can do is invest in her network and herself.
Yep.
Yes.
Perfectly put.
Yes. So I'm going to leave it up to you to share with the audience out there, a lot of them being wives, being mothers, your entrepreneurship journey. You are a true entrepreneur at heart. So whatever you'd like to share, I'm open, all ears.
Well, you know that I started my entrepreneur journey building an online business, right? It was product-based. I did a lot of weddings, dealt with lots of brides, and I grew that business to be 7 figures, basically running by itself. And after 8 successful years, I decided to sell like that dream, right? And everybody thought I was insane. And the true meaning behind it was that I wasn't spending enough time with my kids. I used to, leave them in the morning and then not see them again until nighttime. And then I used to make it a point to put away my phone. But as soon as they would go to sleep, I would like, okay, let me start catching up, for tomorrow, because I'm like that, right? I always need to be one step ahead. And it was just, waking up every day doing the same thing over and over and just missing the little milestones, right? I used to have like a nanny take care of them, and she would send me videos throughout the day of like, look, she started saying this word, or like Matthew started doing this, and it would break me how difficult it was to like ultimately be building something for them, showing them that like mom can do this and like she's a boss, but like missing the little things. So fast forward now, after giving up the business, it was a really hard transition for me. I felt kind of lost for a little bit, but everything happens for a reason. And I always feel like God has my back and basically gave me this opportunity to help my husband with his payment processing business, where I can put my mastermind and his mastermind and just create this beast of an amazing company with an amazing skill and service to help business owners. And me sitting in the chair of a business owner, I firsthand felt like that passion of like, I need to help these people because I've been in that chair before. So it's something that's extremely rewarding. But ultimately, my why, my reason for doing everything that I do is for my kids. Now I've been able to create a company that, works hand in hand with my schedule. I can still do school pickups. I can still be there for them and give them a different life than I was with the previous company.
I love it. All about balance, right?
Yes.
And setting boundaries. And you and I talk because I have 3 girls. You have a boy and a girl. I would love to know the dynamic between that because, we could go on and on days for that for me. But talk to the women out there that may be struggling. I know that you mentioned earlier when you had the 7-figure big business online, it broke your heart, and didn't seem at the time that maybe you were looking for more balance. And so what is one piece of advice that you can give someone out there that is in that position right now, they're struggling with finding the balance and the boundaries?
I feel like there's no like true advice to this question. And as together as somebody has it with, or like as together as you think that somebody has it with a business, there's always like that mom guilt, right? So even if you are like last night, we went to, the grand opening for one of our colleagues, and it was like my daughter was crying her eyes out. She's like, Mommy, you already worked yesterday. Like, why do you have to go to work today? So you do have, a certain balance that you have to put into place. For me, I have my Saturdays and my Sundays. If it's not making me money, I'm not going. And it's a very strict, rule that I have on myself because I need that time with them. I didn't do all of this and transition and, change my entire life to, ignore them on a Saturday or Sunday. And then during the weekdays, like I said, once it's school pickup time, my phone is on because being in payment processing, you have your clients and your clients depend on you. And our number one, selling point is that our customer service is on point. So whether you're texting me, calling me, like my phone is around. So that I can take care of my clients, but I will not be like doom scrolling on social media, with my kids because it's already bad enough that like we live in a society where like your phone is in your face.
Yeah.
I don't want my kids to like remember me in that way. I want them to remember me growing something, leaving a legacy, doing all the hard things and seeing mama work. And not limiting themselves to anything. But I also want them to remember me sitting on the floor playing with them or like coloring with them or reading books to them. Like it sounds super corny, but it's my balance. It's how I handle it.
Mm-hmm. And we only have one life to live, right? And
Exactly.
I know you get this probably the same. Enjoy it while it lasts because they're going to grow up and be out of the house one of these days. And so I really appreciate you sharing that, the realness of being a mom and an entrepreneur and a
No one
wife
talks
and
about it
all of the
enough.
things. It's hard
Like
out
newborn
here.
stage,
Yeah.
like is hard enough as it is. Like that
Yeah.
transition, the breastfeeding, the waking up
Oh,
every
yeah.
2 hours, and then on top of that, throw a business. Like
Yes.
it's the most difficult thing I've ever done, but I'm very proud of it.
I'm
very
proud of you
it.
too.
Thank you.
And you should definitely be proud. And I know that your children look up to you and you're such an inspiration. So before we end, if you can share with the audience, if they have, like they're business owners, right? They are, processing payments all the time and they want more information on how to reach you, what you do, to learn a little bit more. Where can they find you?
So our Instagram handle is at CardTide. Usually we post a lot of good, educational stuff on why you would switch your payment processor over to us. And then I have my personal brand where I talk about motherhood and entrepreneurship and that balance that we talked about. And that one is at It's Nikki Piedra.
Okay. And She Sips, we mentioned that briefly, but where could people find out more information on that if they're a woman, business owner?
So we
and want
actually
to connect?
have another event coming up. It's on June 4th. It's going to be at Josefina's Coffee House. And we're actually doing free headshots for everybody that attends, light bites, and of course, margaritas. And we're going to talk all about marketing strategies with Brandy, our, expert SEO queen. And then I'm going to talk about your net worth being your network, right? And so it's going to be a really, really good one. And that Instagram handle is at She Sips Official.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, of course.
All right. Up next, you will hear from Gloria Heck. She is a professional with Remax, and she is going to talk about being an entrepreneur, a mom, a grandmother, all the things, and creating a legacy.
Thank you for having me, Kristen.
Of course, of course. Okay, so the theme today is Mother's Day. So in honor of Mother's Day, I know you're a mom, you're a grandma, you're a wife, you're a business owner, entrepreneur, all of the things. So share with the audience your story. How did you get up, doing what you do? Tell them a little bit about yourself.
Okay, I'll be brief. I'm originally from Southern California, and I got my start in business at working in media. I worked in radio, I worked in television, and I worked in internet advertising sales. I also, in Los Angeles, had my own advertising agency. It was called Glomar Enterprises. My husband moved us to Miami. He was working for a record company. And living in Miami, I didn't really have any contacts. So I had to start from fresh. And I started working at the Miami Herald online. And I worked in online at the very beginning of online. So I would say at this point, I'm a dinosaur as far as internet advertising is concerned. So I worked in media. I worked for a company called Cox Interactive Media. I worked for the Palm Beach Post. I was the director of online advertising for them. Had a great job. I loved it. It was amazing. But there were some life-changing things that happened in the course of this business that I was in. I saw that my boss had children who were in Texas, and so he had to manage long distance his children. One of my salespeople, one of my staff members, she had a daughter who was 20 years old dealing with drug abuse. And I just came to the realization that I was working so many hours and I wasn't spending quality time with my kids. And so I had to make a career change. I wanted to do something that would allow me to spend more time with them. And so I decided I was going to do real estate full time. So I put together a plan, saved up enough money to not have to worry about it for a year, and I dug in. And the journey has been amazing. I've totally enjoyed spending more quality time with my kids and just being present for them.
So important. And thank you for sharing. You learn something new every day, and we know each other, but I learned so much more about you and sharing that. And so my next question would really be transition. because when you were talking about what you did and why you did it, for your children, and I'm assuming to have the balance and, like you said, the quality time, it's not easy, right? And there's someone out there that is, in that crossroads right now, and they may want to transition and make the change, but it's scary.
It is very scary. And I will tell you, within the first year of me being a full-time realtor, I became a single mom.
Wow.
So that was really difficult. And so many lessons that I learned in the process of it. And one of those, I think it's really important for people who are looking at making these types of transitions is self-care. You got to take care of yourself. You have to spend some time just nurturing who you are. The glass can't be half empty. You got to fill yourself up on a regular basis and take care of yourself. Even if it's once the kids are asleep, you take a bubble bath or something. Just some quiet time to be on your own and to just relax and feel good. And then exercise is also important.
Yeah.
So those are two of the self-care things that I think are important.
So true. Thank you for sharing. I think it's hard, sometimes as mothers and being so nurturing and thinking of our babies and now your grandbabies
Yeah.
to put ourselves and what our needs are in the back burner. But it's so true. If we aren't taking care of ourselves, we can't be there for those we love most, right?
Right. You burn out.
Yeah. Yeah. Someone who is looking maybe to transition, whether it's getting married or getting divorced, and you're in the real estate industry and you sell all the time, where could they go if they wanted to learn more about you and what you do, and maybe reach out to you for your services?
Well, I have a YouTube channel which is called South Florida Real Estate Tips. So it's South Florida Real Estate Tips is my YouTube channel. I also have a website which is gloriasellsrealestate.com. One more thing that I wanted to add before I leave. I think it's really important for us as mothers to recognize the legacy that we pass along with our kids and their families. And I think it's important for us to recognize that we offer so much to them. We need to share some of our traditions, write down our recipes. We need to know that at some point in time, we're not going to be here. So we need to write these things down, document them, and pass our legacy on to the next generation.
I love it. I love it. So true. So true. Thank you for sharing that as well. Because your legacy lives on. Your mom, is she
She's
here?
still alive,
She's still
yeah.
alive. That's such a blessing.
Yeah.
Such a blessing. I don't know. I think we shared my mom passed, but her legacy lives on, and I have this phenomenal firm because of her, the KWG, standing for Kristen Walker Goss, Walker being my maiden name. And I think what you said is so true because of the history that she shared with me, and making sure that I knew where I come from, even though she's no longer here and has been
Her legacy,
deceased for 16 years. It's like, she's still here.
yeah, her legacy still lives on in you
Yeah.
and your children.
So thank you for sharing that. That's important.
My pleasure.
Again, one more time, where can they go if people want to reach out to you for more information?
You could call me 754-245-4662.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Stay tuned. Keep watching out there, because next we have Amanda Babb. She is going to talk to us a little bit about what she does, and she's in a different space as a grandma, and you'll hear all the other things. So stay tuned. All right. We are back with Amanda Babb. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you for having me. Excited to be here today.
Of course. And for those of you who don't know Amanda, which you need to know Amanda, I'm going to share briefly a little bit about her, and then we'll get into the conversation. So Amanda Babb is the president and owner of Care Patrol of Boca Raton and North Broward and Care Patrol of Delray and Boynton Beach. Amanda is the owner and president of Care Patrol of these sections, Boca Raton and North Broward. Also, she is a certified senior advisor and certified dementia practitioner. In 2025, through Care Patrol, she became an aligned care, value-based care specialist. She is the founding member of the Miami branch of Chief Professional Women's Networking Organization. She is additionally serving as a member of the Boca Raton Alzheimer's Walk Committee for the past 3 years. In 2025, she was recognized as Volunteer of the Year. She currently serves as president of Psi Zeta, a chapter of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. She is also a member of Health Equity Coalition and Women's Executive Club. So many more I could say about her. And we're going to get into the conversation because I want to talk a little bit about you personally, but share first professionally with the audience how you ended up in the industry that you're in.
Oh, I love that question. I ended up in this industry, honestly, out of necessity. My husband and I, we were living in Boca, get a call in the middle of the night from where my mother-in-law lived. She lived in Richmond, Virginia. She had fallen. So then we had to get ourselves together, fly to Richmond, make sure that she was okay. She was fine. However, fast forward, she fell 2 more times. And so at that point, we're like, we can't keep flying, in the middle of the night to Richmond. We've got to bring her closer to us. So my husband and I did everything that I tell my clients not to do. So we picked a place because it was new. We picked a place because it had beautiful decor. The good thing was it was 5 minutes from our home, so it was very easy for us to get there to her. And when I left corporate America, I had made the decision I wanted to open my own business. So as I was going through my search process, I kept coming across Care Patrol. Care Patrol is a franchise. Care Patrol was founded over 32 years ago by a social worker, and the values of Care Patrol just aligned so cleanly with my own personal values. And I said, I have got to go into this industry so I can keep families from making the mistakes that we made. And that's why I made the decision to purchase the 2 territories. And we've been in business now for over 4 years, and proud to say we have helped countless numbers of families. We have 5-star rating, and we absolutely love what we do.
And I can actually tell and attest because I've referred several people to you, and they do a phenomenal job for sure. And what you do is needed.
Thank you so much.
Yes. I went through the whole caregiving with my father from 2010 to 2014 when he passed away, and wish I had you on my side and knew you then, because it's scary for children who are in that sandwich generation. They have littles of their own, but they're also caring for elderly parents or parents who may not be as elderly, but have been diagnosed with early onset of dementia and Alzheimer's. And it's not easy for sure.
No, it's not.
Thank you.
Oh, thank
I
you.
appreciate you. Yes. Okay. Personally, in honor of Mother's Day,
Yes.
you have so much that you can share. Let's start with this first. I know that you have been divorced, right? And so I'm asking specifically for those who may be in blended family scenarios, such as yourself, those who have been divorced and then they are remarried now. How is that life like? And I know there are challenges, and there are also very positive sides to it. And so if there's anything that you can share with someone who may be in your shoes that can help, I would appreciate
I will
it.
tell you from a blended family perspective, I love our family because my husband, this is a second marriage for him. Our children have come together and we have formed our own version of a family. So when someone asks me, do I have children? Yes, I have 3 children. That includes my bonus daughter and my my daughter and my son. When we talk about our grandchildren, we say our grandchildren because it really is, it's our family. Now, yes, you go through the storming phase where you're trying to figure each one out and understand what works and what doesn't work. But I will tell you, our family, we get along beautifully. We look forward to the opportunities for us all to be together because, as you can imagine, at this point, we're definitely empty nesters. However, when we are able to bring everyone together, like this coming up next week, as a matter of fact, we'll have everyone here in Florida. That will be a huge treat for us.
Love it. You can teach a class, of course, on co-parenting for sure. Oh gosh. So my last question is, if there are people out there that have a loved one that need your services, where can they go to find out more information or to reach out to you for your services?
I always tell everyone, first and foremost, give me a call because our hours are typically 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Friday. So our phone is typically always answered as well as on the weekends until 12. So you can always call me at 561-270-5727. Again, 561-270-5727. As well as you can search online to find us. It's Care Patrol, Boca Raton, North Broward. You can also find me on LinkedIn because I do have people that will reach out to me on LinkedIn, will send me a message. Hey, can you help me? I need to talk about my mom or my dad. So you can always find me on LinkedIn under Amanda L. Babb or under Care Patrol of Boca Raton and North Broward.
Awesome. Thank you for coming and thank you for sharing such phenomenal information. And again, appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me.
Of course. Up next will be Ona O. And I'm going to have her say her last name because I don't want to butcher it. But she is going to be coming to us and sharing her wisdom as a mom as well. So stay tuned. All right. So we have Ona O with us. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for inviting me.
Of course, of course. I'm going to read briefly a little bit about Ona and then we'll get into the conversation.
Okay.
So she is an experienced insurance advisor with Brightway Insurance Agency, bringing 12 years of expertise in helping clients protect what matters most. She specializes in home, auto, and property coverage, serving clients across all property values and providing builders risk insurance for renovation projects. She works closely with clients to ensure their investments are fully protected and aligned with their financial goals, which is extremely important. But first, that's professional, but she is very interesting to me, everybody. She is like a jack of all trades. I really think so. And I know because we've been talking a lot lately, you're an avid runner. I don't run. So I'm very fascinated with this because not why, because you should run. It is important to stay healthy. But is there a reason? Is there a why that got you into? Because it's not just you just run. You do these 5Ks all across the world. And what prompted you to do all that?
Okay. So it's marathons all over the world.
Okay, marathon. See, I told you I don't run. I don't know. Go ahead.
All right.
Marathon.
So,
Yes.
yeah, thank you for having me, Kristen. I really appreciate it. Good question. So, running, when I started, it was very personal to me. But after a year of running, I realized how much I can do with running, how much people I can meet, how much people I can help through charity, through fundraising. So it just went a whole different direction. So it was all for fitness. I started, but once I got into that fitness space, I realized that running, it's more than just fitness. It's more than just a medal. It's just more than being out there. It's a community of people, coming together to achieve a purpose, help through charity, helping people that are less privileged in different situations, health-wise or whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm. I love it. I love it. Yes. It shows your passion. It shows your heart.
Yes.
Very giving.
Yes.
For sure. Okay. Turning to a little bit more personal, right? So in honor of Mother's Day, and, there's not a Mother's Day really, right? It's
Yes.
Mother's Day every day.
Right.
share a little bit with the audience about you personally, because I know you're a wife, you're a mother, and you are also in the business of insurance. So tell the audience a little bit about that.
All right. So, as a mother, running has helped me build resilience. It has helped me stay motivated. Running has helped me being able to face hard things. So when life becomes really challenging for me and I go out there and I run, I kind of think about it like, okay, I'm out here, I'm running. It just helps me see how far my body can tolerate stress, how far my body can tolerate certain things. So being able to accomplish miles after miles, it just helps me build that resilience, like that ability to be able to manage pressure from the children, from the husband, or whatever the case may be. So as a mother, I started running in my late 30s, but that was I think I was going into my 40s when I started. So that was has been one of the best decisions for me, taking on running, because it has really transformed me physically, mentally. I have the tolerance to deal with the children, the family, even work life. So so
I love
it's
it.
been very interesting. Yes.
Love it. And it's also a form of self-care, it sounds like, because mentally it's an outlet for you
Yes.
so that you can be there and be present as a mom, as a wife, as all the things. So thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
And so professionally, I know that you're in the insurance industry.
Yes.
If you can share with the audience out there, because we all need what you offer.
Correct.
So educate us on what it is that you offer.
Okay. So I do property and casualty insurance. It's homeowners insurance. We're all familiar with what homeowners insurance is, and also auto insurance. As a mom, for me, it's very important that we all protect what matters to us, because the last thing we want, or the last thing we don't want, it's for us to lose our home and our kids don't have a place to stay because we didn't have the right coverage in place, or we neglect to check our home policies to see the kind of coverage that we have, and then once a claim arises or something or catastrophe arises, then we just don't know where to go with it or how to manage the situation. So for me, homeowners insurance, I provide homeowners insurance that helps not just moms, but even dads, anyone who has a home and has a family. You want to protect your family. You want to make sure you have the right coverages. So if something should happen to that home, at least you know there will be money somewhere in that policy that you can use to live somewhere else while the home is being rebuilt. Same thing with the auto. You want to make sure that I would make sure I look at your policy and I make sure that you have the right amount of coverage. So that way, if a liability comes, especially for some of us that have young children, teenage drivers, we want to make sure we have the right amount of coverage, not just the state limits or minimum. We want to have a good amount of coverage. So that way, if something should happen, we are covered in terms of liability, in terms of damages. Nobody has $25,000 sitting around to purchase a brand new car if your car gets totaled. But if you have the right amount of collision coverage and comprehensive coverage, the insurance company can provide you coverage for that. Same thing with the house. If you have home insurance, God forbid your house burns down, something happens to it, and you have the right amount of coverage, at least you are guaranteed that the house is going to be rebuilt, as opposed to just not having a place to live. So.
Yes, so important to be proactive out there. Don't be cutting corners. Don't do it. It's not worth it.
Yes.
So thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Last question for you. If people want to reach out to you for your services or learn a bit more about yourself,
Yes.
where could they go to find out more information?
Okay, so they can either call me at my office, 954-241-1779. That's the office number. Or they can email me. It's onajite, onajite.okotogbo@brightway.com. So if you email me or you call me, great. I'll be able to assist you. We'll sit down, we'll have conversation and talk about your policies and what kind of coverages that you need. And then also, I'm very big on social media. You can find me on Instagram, Authentic Owner, Authentic Owner at Instagram, and also on Facebook is Onajito Kutogbo, and then on LinkedIn as well. So I'm pretty big on social media. So yes, if you on social media, I share my passion for running. I share my stories, my all my life events. So if you're looking for me, message me there or call me or email me, and we'll be able to sit down and have a conversation.
Awesome.
Yes.
Thank you again for coming. I appreciate your time.
Thank you. All right. Thanks for having me, Christy. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
All right.
Up next, we have Regina Rosa Celeste. She is a phenomenal woman, very inspirational, and she's going to share with us how we as women can do a lot of self-sabotaging and give us some good tips on how to not do that. So stay tuned.
Thank you for
Appreciate it.
having me. I'm so excited.
Of course. I'm excited to get into this conversation because this is something you definitely want to hear. Before we get into it, though, I'm going to introduce a little bit about Regina. She empowers leaders identify what's secretly holding them back. The self-sabotage, the blocks, the patterns running on repeat so they can rewire from the inside out and finally access lasting peace, unstoppable productivity, and a life fully aligned with their purpose. She's a humanitarian, and she stands for people being their fullest, most aligned with expression of self, remembering their divine essence. I love it. I love it. So let's get into the conversation. My first question to you is tell the audience a little bit about yourself. Share with them anything that you would want them
Sure.
to know.
I think the biggest thing is that I am a product of my work. And I feel like it was a lot of times that I felt like a total mess and like an imposter, actually, because I felt like I had all the good ideas and all the things, but I was having struggles and challenges to embody that peace within myself. And so I worked on that and I really like fine-tuned it, and I still do every day, and I'm human. I'm not perfect. I've shared some very personal things with you, Kristen, and I am grateful that I get to say I'm human because we're all learning as we go. And what I love about your work is that you are teaching people that there is another way. And when it comes to anything dealing with family matters, I mean, it gets heated. People have emotions, people have pain, they have, hurt, upset, and all of that can be there and transmuted into love and into solutions, which is really what I feel this is all about. Is just reminding people at the end of the day what matters, and it's your loved ones. So if I can't identify what's bothering me, that's going to come out as frustration. I'm not frustrated at the dishwasher. I'm frustrated because I can't communicate what I'm really frustrated about. So I think this is like, it's where we can unlock the true, the essence of what's going on and why people are in pain and why they're combative, and it's unfortunate when there's children involved because the kids are watching and they understand something's wrong, but they don't always know how to handle it, obviously. And it shows up in school with their friends, especially now with technology. More and more kids are spending time in front of the screen. So are parents. They're not talking. So what are their kids doing? The same thing.
Yeah.
And, it's last night, actually, I was at a TED Talk, and it was so much fun. TED Talk Miami. And it was all about AI. And it was all about technology and how we are the difference. So we get to have these tough conversations. And it's one of the reasons I really like what you're doing. Again, your show and just your topics are on point because they're helping provide people with strategies, solutions, and a way out.
Absolutely. Thank you. I appreciate you sharing. And I'm not going to be doom and gloom, I promise you that. But as you were talking, unfortunately, this has been the theme, especially in the industry that I'm in as a divorce attorney, murder-suicide situations. Every time I turn on the TV or I'm online Googling something else, maybe doing ChatGPT for some marketing strategies, there's something else, about a murder suicide, someone filed for divorce, and that's the end result. And I think that if we start having these conversations to really get down to the interests and the needs and being understood and being heard and feeling, what it is and addressing what it is that needs to be addressed, hopefully that can help. So just wanted to share that as well. My next question, though, is you work with high achieving women often, and a lot of times they're carrying a lot of financial and emotional load and overload. And I know you deal with and talk about a lot that comes with self-sabotage. And you mentioned earlier, you're human, we're all human. And I think sometimes as women, we don't give ourselves grace. So share with the audience a little bit about that. Maybe there's a woman out there that is struggling, to give herself grace. What is it that you can provide? Give one tip that you can provide that person.
Yeah, that's a good question. I think the biggest thing is self-compassion. And when we can give ourselves compassion, we can be compassionate with others. And not to go, too far back into what you were just sharing, but about suicide too. I think that's a really clearly a very permanent, thing that happens. And what I learned in my own process of my pain and transmuting my pain into purpose was that everybody wants, I believe, the same thing. They want love, to give it and to receive it. And so when a person is suffering to the point where they start thinking about that, it's no longer about the divorce. It's deeper. And so, that impacts the whole family. The children, the grandchildren, anything peripheral. And so these are really systemic issues that can be resolved when people just look at themselves with grace and compassion and say, hey, I'm not perfect. I have flaws. Guess what? We all do. Welcome home,
Yes.
So it creates a sense of like a fabric of unity, and also that we're all perfectly imperfect. And I think that's the biggest thing if I'm talking to a woman or a male, is just to remember that, are you doing your best? Great. Give yourself permission to be human, to make mistakes, to be flawed, and learn to love those flaws because they're yours. And, instead of focusing on what we don't have, let's focus on what we do have. And luckily we have places like this, education platforms and rooms that we can have these difficult conversations. And I think that's the first step, is just being raw and honest. Like I have things that I'm not happy about, I'm not proud of, and what can I do about them?
I think, yeah, absolutely. So there's so much we can go into, and I know you and I are going to be collaborating in the near future. If someone wants to reach out to you and they have questions or they may want to learn more, where can they go to find out information about you?
Thanks. So I have a free quiz on my website that I recommend people to take if they're even curious about like where they are in their own stress patterns and levels. It's a quick 5-second quiz, 5 questions, and that's internalpeacenow.com. Because I like to say it's not about having peace one day, it's about choosing peace today and right now.
I love it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming. I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me. So happy to be here.
Of course, of course. So up next, you will hear from Dr. Nancy Gomez. She's a chiropractor, and she's going to talk a little bit more about her journey as a mom, entrepreneur, and self-care, because it's all about making sure that we're good. If we're good, then we can be help to others out there. So stay tuned. All right. So we have Dr. Nancy Gomez with
Hi.
us. Thank you for joining.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So I'm going to briefly share a little bit about Dr. Nancy, and then we'll get into some great conversation. She is the founder of Tula, that is Tula, Mobile Chiropractic, a concierge wellness service that brings personalized chiropractic care, therapeutic massage, and dry needling directly to clients' homes and workplaces across South Florida. I am familiar because she has worked on me and one of my daughters. She's amazing. And with over 25 years in the health and wellness field, she's known for helping busy professionals feel better faster through a hands-on whole body approach. She is a proud mom to her 11-year-old daughter, Milla, a passionate dancer who inspires her daily. Tula, meaning balance, reflects both her approach to care and the life she strives to create for herself and her family. So, speaking of Tula and being balanced, as a mother, you know, you have a very busy schedule. Your daughter has a very busy schedule. I mean, she travels, right, for dance and all of that. So, share with the audience how it is that you can do all that you do, be a mother, and then still balance life. What does that look like?
Yeah, it's not easy sometimes.
Yeah.
Let me see. My calendar, of course, is very important. And, you know, just getting the dance season from the beginning of the year and just inputting it all in and then working around. And honestly, I went mobile so that I can be flexible for her. So I arrange all of my patients around her schedule.
I love it. I love it. I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you. Yeah.
So, yeah, it's important for me to be there for her. I mean, I only have a few years of this, you know, treasured time with her. And I love that she gets to watch me to build something of my own that I feel so passionate about and that I can nurture people while I nurture her, nurture myself. So, and build a business.
Absolutely. And she's your only child, right?
She's my only child.
Yes. She's so blessed and special. Yes. I was my mom's only child. So I think that that there's a different perspective. I think that, and correct me if I'm wrong, she can probably be independent. She sees you, like you say, in your industry and working hard. And I think that that's very inspirational for especially the mother-daughter dynamic and having that. And you're raising a very well-rounded, strong individual.
I hope so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she's already talking about what college she wants to go to. So, yeah, she definitely knows she's on a path.
So share with the audience a little bit about Tula and the services that you offer, because it's very important and it's very necessary. So,
Yeah. So I started doing body work about 25 years ago in 1999. And I started off as a massage therapist, and I've worked, you know, clinically in doctors' offices and holistic practices in spa settings. As a chiropractor, I've worked with orthopedic surgeons. I've worked in the personal injury space. And also for 10 years, I worked with substance abuse and people undergoing recovery, mental health, substance abuse. So I brought all of those different experiences together to kind of develop my own style as to what I like to do. I still really love to do massage, and I could never separate that from being a chiropractor. So what I do is I go to people's homes because it's very convenient for them. You know, a lot of people have a hard time going to a clinic, fighting traffic, you know, and finding time in their schedule, finding the right clinic to go to. So I go to people's homes and offices, and I do longer sessions, 45-minute, hour sessions, and I combine therapeutic massage, body work with chiropractic adjustments. I'm also certified in trigger point dry needling. So some people just really like that and want the needling, and some people it gives me an extra little in to their nervous system, and it helps to tame things down before I could go in there and do muscle work and adjustments.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing. And I am going to ask this question, last question for you, that I've been actually dying to hear as well. You were a theater major. Of course, it's coming. You were a theater major. How did you make that transition from theater to what you do right now?
Yeah, so let me see. I went to New World School of the Arts in downtown Miami, and it was a very during the 90s, and it was a very creative time there. We had a lot of interesting teachers, wonderful teachers, and a lot of them had experience in body work. And so when I was there, I was doing Pilates, I was doing Tai Chi, I was getting Reiki from some of my professors. So I already had kind of that influence. So when I actually had a theater company here in downtown Miami for a short period of time, and we moved it to Chicago. And I had a bunch of friends from college who lived in Chicago. So we had a theater company there. And I was waiting tables to support myself while I was doing theater, and I was just tired of it. I was a bad waitress. So I wanted to have something that I could still audition and do theater and also make an income. So massage school. So I became a massage therapist that way. And, about a year or two into doing massage, I just loved it. I loved changing people's lives, and it just felt very creative. I came to massage therapy from a creative space. I kind of thought of it as a dance when I was doing it. And, throughout my massage career, I just kind of wanted to take it a step further. And that's how I ended up going to chiropractic school.
I love it. I love it. Thinking outside the box and doing what you're passionate about. Yeah. So, speaking of what you do, share with the audience where they could go if they want to, utilize your services or learn a little bit more about you.
Okay, so a good place to start is my website. It's www.tulachiro.com, www.tulachiro.com. And from there, you could get my Instagram information, my Facebook, my phone number, 786-567-4859 is my phone number. So you can book an appointment with me there.
Awesome. I appreciate you coming.
Thanks, Kristen.
Of course. Okay. Of course. Up next, you're going to hear from the Malia Arnett Archie. She is an attorney and also creative as well. And we're going to talk a little bit more about motherhood, adopting, all the things. So stay tuned. All right, Malia, welcome back. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, I couldn't have this special edition without having you on for so many reasons. You're an inspiration being one. So before we get into the conversation, Malia Arnett Archie. She is an attorney, an entrepreneur, and founder of Modern Creators Law Firm, PLLC, and VoiceBox Content Agency. She's passionate about empowering entrepreneurs and innovators. She helps visionaries protect their ideas, secure trademarks, and build impactful, sustainable businesses. Beyond her work, she is a devoted wife and proud mother to her two beautiful daughters, Hannah, love the Hannahs, I have a Hannah, and Eliza. Right?
Eliza.
Eliza. So thank you again for being here. And my first question in honor of Mother's Day, which Mother's Day is every day.
That's right.
I know that your first daughter is your biological child, and then you adopted
Correct.
as well. So there are many mothers out there who are listening in, and not everyone can have a child biologically. And so I would love for you to share your journey with all of that.
Oh, absolutely. No, thank you for giving the platform to be able to discuss something that doesn't get talked about enough. So as you said, I have a 20-year-old and a 6-year-old. Our 20-year-old Hannah is our biological child. And when we had her, we just thought things would progress normally from there and we'd have other children. But we, fell to recurrent miscarriages. Total, we have 12 pregnancies, 1 live birth, and then the losses, and 1 stillbirth. And so it was an extremely painful couple of decades, right? And trying to figure it out and going through all of the stages of realizing that maybe it just wasn't going to happen physically for us. I'm a woman of faith. And I believe that, God can do anything. But I also believe that he gives us opportunities to connect with how he wants to do things, his will for our lives. And so after all of the losses, we really had to go to that place where we divorced ourselves from the idea that it had to happen the way we thought it had to happen traditionally. And as soon as we did that, we got a call that there was a young woman who had given birth, was actually in the process of giving birth, and did not want to keep the baby. She had heard our stories, and this is why it's so important to tell your story. Mm-hmm. She had heard our stories about the recurrent miscarriages and understood that we wanted to have a baby. And she contacted us through one of my sisters, and she said, "This is your baby." And that was in Ohio. This was in 2019. Again, we were running our businesses, living our lives, doing all of the things. We had given that thing over to God and said, however you want to do it, do it. So when we got the phone call, I just remember I was on the way to the doctor and I was kind of, what is this? Is this real? Is this true? And I remember I called my husband from the car and I said, we have a baby in Cincinnati. And he was like, huh? And I'm like, yes. And I told him the story. And I said, but we have to get there within 24 hours if we're going to do this. And again, another sign that, you know that this is real and the time is right. There was no questioning. There was no, if you believe that this is real, go. It was right before, I think, Hurricane Michael. And so I booked a ticket and I was there. I didn't make it within the 24 hours, but I got there within 48 hours. The baby was still in the hospital. Eliza was still in the hospital. And I was able to do skin to skin with her. And she's been with us ever since. So it is a true miracle, but also just a testament to faith and to being open to what God wants to do in your life. And as a woman, it was redemption for me because I felt my body had failed me. But holding her in that hospital was everything.
Thank you for sharing. I really appreciate. And I've seen Eliza, and she's beautiful, and it's like you can't even tell. She is your child for sure. And I know that what you had to say helped a lot of women out there. Faith is, huge for me as well, as you know. And I think that we have our plans a lot of times, which is good to have a plan, but it's also good to be open to allow God to do what he wants to do in our lives. So, and Eliza is blessed and Hannah is blessed to have you as a mom. So I appreciate you sharing that story. And really quick, before we wrap it up, you are an attorney, you're a creative, all of the things. And if you can share with the audience where people can find out information about you, if they have, you talk about trademarks, patent, all that.
Absolutely.
To own a business, you need to have that in place to make sure you keep your brand. And then also the voice box side, where can people reach you?
You can reach me on all platforms at Melia, MELIAESQ. And that will lead you to the content agency and studio as well as the law firm. And we'd love to help. And our websites are moderncreatorslaw.com and voiceboxpcs.com.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate you being here again. Up next, you will hear from Trinice. She is going to be talking about a lot of different things, being a wife, going through a divorce, being a mother, being also a grandmother and a business owner. So you don't want to miss out for her story as well. We'll talk soon. Thank you, Trinice, for being here. I appreciate your time.
Of course.
Yes. And I'm excited. Before we get into the conversation, though, I'm going to share a little bit about Trinice. Trinice Dorset Bonner is an entrepreneur, educator, podcast host, and proud mother of 3. For over 25 years, she's worked in the cosmetology industry, and for 17 of those years, she's had the opportunity to teach and mentor future beauty professionals as a cosmetology instructor. During her career, she successfully owned and operated 2 salons, helping clients look and feel their best while building strong relationships within the beauty industry. Business ownership has always been a huge part of her journey. She spent nearly 20 years building and managing businesses, including operating a successful 5-star landscaping company for 5 years. Today, she's focused on growing her newest business, Leading Legacy Mobile Auto Detailing. Get your cars cleaned. Yes, where she brings high-quality detailing services directly to her clients. Busy, we have busy lives. We need people to come to us. So I appreciate that. She also is the host of the Virgo Lounge podcast, a platform where she discusses real-life topics surrounding relationships, entrepreneurship, personal growth, and everyday experiences. She's passionate about connecting with people, building meaningful relationships, and inspiring others through both business and life experiences. And everything she does is rooted in service, leadership, and leaving a lasting legacy for her family and community. Love it. Love it.
Absolutely.
Love it. Love
Thank
it.
you, girl.
Yes.
That's better than Shannon Sharp, girl.
Thank you.
I know he do the best intros, girl, but that was good. Okay. Yes.
So, my first question to you is when building a business alongside others, what have you learned about the importance of alignment, communication, and shared vision?
So communication is number one. I'm a Virgo, by the way. What's your sign?
Sagittarius.
Hey, what day?
Yes. The 20th.
Okay.
Yes, of
So
December.
So you were on the Sag Cap cusp.
Yes.
Okay. You do
Yes.
give me that. You do give me Capricorn vibes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, yes,
okay.
yes.
Okay.
So that cusp matters.
Okay.
But yes, communication is very important. I'm a Virgo. Communication is definitely number one for me. It's very important that you have a strong foundation as far as being on the same page. I can use examples like within the landscaping company, communicating, making sure that, okay, today we're doing Mary's yard, in Mary's yard, she gets a fertilization treatment. And so that's what we're going to do today to make sure she gets it. Because when you get there, Mary might say, oh, well, you're supposed to fix the sprinkler today, but we've already communicated what has to be done in Mary's yard. So being on the same page as far as communicating in business is very important. So having those conversations, making sure you're prepared. I come from the old school. I know I don't look like it, but yes, I come from the old school. And the old school is very important to me to, excellence is very important. Integrity, communication, like I said, is very important. But having those values in business is very important.
For sure. I
Hmm.
appreciate that. We need to bring some of those values back, don't we?
Absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yes. It's a little lacking.
Do you think they'll ever come back, or you think it's just
You know?
it gets worse and worse?
You never know. The hope, keep hope alive.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes. So you focus heavily on experience and presentation. How does your personal standard of excellence, which you've just explained, and I agree for sure, translate into how you serve your clients?
Well, and in business, altogether, it's all about what's important is the experience that the client receives. And so to give that client a great experience that they will pass on to their friends, family, and associates. So therefore you can get more business is important. The Bible says a good name is better than riches. So keeping anything that my name is attached to, I am very that's my baby. So when you keep those type of values, which like we were saying, a lot of people don't care about their name. They don't care about their reputation. They care about the now and the money now. But when you care about your name and your reputation, it's long lasting. People are going to send you more business, and you can continue going. So a strong name to me is better than riches.
I love it. You're not a pastor, are you?
No, no,
That's
no.
a lesson.
No,
for
but
sure.
I
I feel
love
like
the
I'm in
Lord.
church right now.
I love
I
the
love
Lord.
it.
And I love to refer to those scriptures,
Yeah.
in life, in everyday life, because they do matter.
Yeah. It keeps you grounded.
Yes.
Yes, for sure. My last question for you is as you continue to evolve, because we all should be evolving and growing, right? How have boundaries played a role in protecting your peace and your business? And I know that you're a mom, you're a grandma. I know she doesn't look like it, but
I
yes,
know.
you're all the
I
things.
am.
But yeah, how do you stay grounded?
So staying grounded, and having balance in a being busy, mother, wife, everything, staying grounded. Um, First of all, I keep a very tight schedule, and I don't let anyone deter me from that schedule. Like I was just having a conversation with somebody. She's like, what if I want my hair done and it's or I want something done today for tomorrow, and I'm like, no. The word is no. I learned how to say no, and I say it loud and clear, and so Also, when you're in a certain position, a lot of people gravitate towards you. A lot of people gravitate towards your energy. A lot of people want to be in contact, be around you. And so a lot of times I have to say, no, I can't talk to this person. I have to make sure that I'm filled mentally, that I'm okay mentally, you know. And so a lot of times what I'll do is, like, I won't talk to that person at the moment. I'll make sure that I can talk to them when I am whole myself first and foremost. So I don't allow everyone to have access to me, and I learn how to say no.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
We all need to learn that.
Yes.
Yes, for sure. Protect our energy, our peace.
Yeah, because some people
Yeah.
just want to come trauma dump on you. You
Mhm.
know, a lot of times you've had a long day,
Mhm.
and it's 6, 7 o'clock in the evening. Now you're getting a phone call from somebody, and it's like, oh, I don't have time for this. You know, you have this little small window that's this little, and you need to make sure that you're okay. You have to make sure that you're spending time with your kids and your husband, and you know, it's just everything. This little bit of time. So I am very strategic on how I spend that time. I have girlfriend time, but as a girlfriend, I'd rather go hang out with you, go spend a little bit of time. I can't be on the phone all
Oh, I
day
hear
and,
you
and
with
you
that.
know,
Yeah.
stuff like that. So yeah, I protect my peace by choosing what I allow. Even if I fall asleep and the TV's on, I'm gonna choose what show I want to go in my subconscious mind. I am not falling asleep to a scary movie that's shooting and there's a war going on.
Yes.
Because in my sleep, that's what will be going on. So just being intentional every day and choosing what you allow into your space
I love it.
is
Thank you for
important.
sharing.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. If people wanted to learn more about you, including your podcast, share with them where they could go to find you.
So you can find me on YouTube, the Virgo Lounge podcast, Truth Talks with Trinice. Also, you can find me on all handles, Leading Legacy Detailing, and Trinice, the Beauty Boss with a D-A, the Beauty Boss.
Love it. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Of course, anytime.
So that is another episode of Civility Wins, the Family Law Edition. I am your host, Kristen Goss, founder and owner of KWG Family Legal and Mediation Services. We are your knowledgeable, warm, and gracious attorneys, and we help spouses divorce with civility, creating a legacy for themselves and those they love most. And don't forget, please share, like, and subscribe. There's very valuable information on this YouTube channel. Share it with a friend and subscribe. Until next time, take care.